Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 10 at Santa Anita on Breeders' Cup Saturday is the Distaff. We're going 1 1/8 miles. $2 million is the purse for fillies and mares. Our coverage is supported today by Racing Blue Storm, a true breakthrough in sports nutrition for horses, speed and power for longer, designed by nature, improved by science. Racing Blue Storm. Here's the field for the Breeders' Cup Distaff, and there's kind of one name you need to know. That's the number 4, Midnight Bizou. 6-5, a little conservative on that morning line, Mike Beer. 6-5, Midnight Bizou. I wouldn't be surprised if she's odds on, considering she's 7 for 7 this year with 3 grade 1s and has just been the dominant lady in her division all year long.
Yeah, I can see her going shorter than even the morning line has her. She, based on what she's done this year in particular, she really towers over this field, Dan. She's going to take a ton of beating in this race.
She's the most likely winner by a very large margin. The most likely pace setter by a very large margin is Serengeti Empress. And when Serengeti Empress gets to the lead, she kind of puffs up and she feels good about herself, and she can take fields a good long way. When she's denied the lead, she's a little bit of a different horse. But in here, I think the lead is hers for the taking. She's just that fast.
Yeah, she really is. And not only is she fast, I feel like her connections have to realize by now that she just needs the lead to be most effective in her races. Flavian Pratt's never ridden her before. I'm assuming Tom Amis is going to come into the paddock and say, put her on ascend when the gate opens.
Paradise Woods is the number 1, and Paradise Woods was 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Distaff in 2017. She has been a hard hitter for a long time. She won the Santa Anita Oaks as a 3-year-old filly, so she obviously likes this track. The 5-year-old version of Paradise Woods is like the little girl with the curl. When she's good, she's very good, and when she's bad, she's horrid. It really depends on how she feels when she steps into the paddock on her best day, and her best day was at the Zenyatta last time out, or one of her best days. She got back onto the beam. She got close to the pace. She sits off this pace setter, Secret Spice. You kind of want it to be close. I was a little surprised that Ali's Candy, the 4, was so far back early, and she made a mid-race move that might have sapped her stretch strength. But Paradise Woods, this big hulking mare, is drawing away from the field at the end. She needs to be forwardly placed, and if the Timeform US pace projector is right, Paradise Woods could be in for a very long afternoon. I think the key for her is she's got to get hustled out of there. She's got to get to the outside, because I don't think she likes to be inside of horses at all. And then she's got to hope for the best, or that the good Paradise Woods shows up.
Yeah, I agree with you. They got to try and get her forward. I mean, it seems like for whatever reason they're reluctant, or they have been reluctant to really use her speed a lot of the time. But maybe she just doesn't have it anymore. I guess that's also in consideration. Listen, her good race, I guess, gives her a chance in here. I know that she won the Zenyatta last time. She did it with a almost perfect trip over a distance-challenged Secret Spice. I don't know, Dan. Maybe the trip will work out for her. I really had a tough time making her in this race. I just don't think any of her races so far as a 5-year-old make her that strong a contender in this race.
Did you get the feeling in watching the Zenyatta that Ali's Candy was merely using that race as a prep? Because, again, she sort of just conceded the lead to the 2 pace setters. We know she's fast. We know she can get up close if need be. She sort of just tracked the pace inside. She tried to make a mid-race move. She was staying on at the end. It was her first start since she won the Clement Hirsch over Secret Spice. I wonder if that race was just a means to an end, and we're going to see the real Ali's Candy, who I think is pretty good at a big price.
Yeah, I agree with you. She's, of the California horses, and especially the ones coming out of the Zenyatta, she's the only one that I want in this race. I thought her Hirsch 2-back was a good effort. It wasn't great, but it was good. They used her speed that day. She was dead game in the stretch to hold on. And once again, over a distance challenge Secret Spice. I don't really think wants to go this far. But last time it was sort of curious that Kent DeSormo took her back to last at the start. I don't know why they did that. Once he mid-moved into the race, right once he got up to Paradise Woods and Secret Spice, that's right when they started picking up the pace again on the second turn. I just think she had a lot go against her last time, and she's better than that. If she takes one more step forward, she gets a big piece of this, I think.
The number 3 Street Band is underrated, and she shouldn't be because she has a good amount of talent. She's been consistently good all season long for trainer Larry Jones and Sophie Doyle. This horse won the Indiana Oaks with just a perfect ride from off of the pace, and they were a bit unlucky in the Alabama in that there was just a torrential downpour that delayed the race for about a half hour. The track turned into a sea of slop. And that being said, I thought Doyle gave this horse a really nice trip in behind. She had a look at it at the 3/16 pole, and maybe the mile and a quarter was just a little much over that testing going. Last time out in the cotillion, another great ride. Saving ground early behind a hot pace, angling out at just the right time, and she is running down a very nice horse in Guarana. Street Band popped a 99 Beyer, her first truly fast Beyer speed figure of her career, and you can make the argument she's coming into this race the right way. Big bullet workout at Churchill Downs in 59 and change.
Yeah, you got to love a 3-year-old who's getting good at the right time of the year, and now we'll step her right up in class. Her cotillion was good. She got a great trip. Everything went her way last time, but she still ran a nice race. I'm with you. I thought her Alabama was actually good. She's just getting better race by race by race. If this race sets up for her, I'll expect her to come running at the end of this thing.
In looking at Midnight Bisou's lifetime past performances, how good was Monomoy Girl? I mean, Midnight Bisou was chasing her in vain all that time. Monomoy Girl just couldn't get on track in 2019, never made it to the races this year, and Midnight Bisou has just taken off. 7 for 7, some really impressive wins, like in the Ogden Phipps, where she made a really good horse in Come Dancing look merely ordinary, and then in the Personal Ensign, when a good horse in a late got the jump on her, and everyone thought a 1 1/8 was a late game, and Midnight Bisou ran her down in the shadow of the wire. Last time out, just a prep, the Beldame, and she got a good prep because here she is getting tested by Wowcat on the outside for a brief moment. You're a little worried that Midnight Bisou's gonna get beat at 15 cents to the dollar, but right here, this is where she exudes her class.
Yeah, she really does. You know, the figure isn't going to knock your socks off, and it looks like maybe she had to work a little too hard in here, but you can see on that replay, once Johnny V got the stick out about the 8th pole, she won that race pretty readily. I thought it was maybe even a perfect prep for her coming into the Breeders' Cup. You don't worry about the 1 1/8 with her. If you ever did, you don't worry about it anymore. That's not what's going to get her beat. She's very tactical and versatile as far as running style goes. So if the pace is fast, she's fine with that. If the pace is slow, she'll just sit closer. She's just the horse to beat in here by a mile, Dan.
Dunbar Road has done a lot in a short amount of time. Just consider she was an unraced maiden on March the 2nd of this year, and she is now the winner of the Mother Goose, the winner of the Alabama, and last time out in the Spinster, her first start against older horses, I'm not sure that was the right trip for her, down towards the inside, stuck on the rail. You saw Javier, he was looking to get out on the far turn, he couldn't, and she finished okay down towards the inside. I thought it was a nice move forward, and she's so lightly raced that she has upside, and I don't worry about the 1 1/8 at all for her. If there's one horse in this race that I think is capable of really taking a jump up into the triple-digit Beyer stratosphere, it's Dunbar Road.
Yeah, I agree with you. Of the 3-year-olds, and there are a couple of good 3-year-olds in here, she would be the one that I would use in this race. The Spinster, I think you're right. Maybe just being down on the rail and trying to rally from the top of the stretch to the wire down on the inside. I just don't think it was ideal for her. Her Alabama was good. Her Mother Goose was actually really good. It didn't get a figure, but she basically ran, I don't know, less than 3/16 of a mile in that race once she got clear. This is a talented 3-year-old filly.
Wowcat, the number 6, actually finished ahead of Midnight Bisou in last year's Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Distaff. It took Chad Brown a long time to get her back to the races. We saw her take her good run at Midnight Bisou last time out in the Beldame. I think that might be the best Wowcat has to offer, and Midnight Bisou swatted her away. She's going to need a lot of things to happen, I think, in order to win a race like this. I wonder if they opt for the tactics of last year's Distaff. You take her back to last, hope for a hot pace, and let's try to pick up some pieces.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. You know, she's not bad, obviously, since she's gotten over here. They've run her basically in all of the big races for the division. And she's had some success. You know what? She is what she is, Dan. I don't think she's the kind of horse you can look at and expect her to just take a huge step forward in this race for whatever reason. I think you kind of know what she is, and she's going to need to catch some breaks to beat this field.
It's nice that Secret Spice got the Grade 1 win in the Beholder Mile, beating Paradise Woods early this year, because she's had some pretty heartbreaking beats in Grade 1 since then. That La Troyenne, she ran really well. She's a Julie was just a little bit better than her that day. The Clement Hirsch, Ali's Candy, she just couldn't get by Ali's Candy when it counted. And the Zenyatta, we saw Paradise Woods go by. You've pretty much made your feelings known about Secret Spice. She doesn't want to go a mile and a 16th, so how is she going to go a mile and an eighth? She's probably going to have to do so from close to the pace, and I'm not sure chasing Serengeti Empress through a solid pace is going to put this one in the winner's circle.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what she does. I mean, I just don't trust her over this kind of a distance. I really think she's made it clear that she doesn't want to go this far. I'm a huge fan of hers, and I think she's a really good horse. I wish they had run her in the Philly and Mare Turf Sprint, because I would have loved her in that race.
La Force really didn't have much of a chance in the Zenyatta, the way that track was playing. She's a true one-run closer that needs help up front. She's got 8 second-place finishes. She has taken on some top competition in her career. The Monomoy Girls, the Unique Bellas, the Faults, when Fault was really good in Southern California on the dirt. I just think she's a cut below the true top Grade 1 level fillies and mares in the country.
Yeah, she certainly is. She's definitely a cut below. Kind of horse you could use underneath in a race like this, though.
Serengeti Empress won the Kentucky Oaks this year in gate-to-wire fashion. I told you, she gets to the lead. She's very dangerous. In the Acorn, she got to the lead on the good rail, was beaten by Guarana, but she also broke inward very badly and had to hustle up to set a fast pace. And I wonder if that kind of took a little bit of the starch out of her in the test. Kafefi, who's going to be the favorite in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint, was just a little bit better. And last time out in the cotillion, they didn't make the lead, and she just didn't feel like firing.
Yeah, it was interesting because she had the rail in the cotillion and she made the lead early in there. But once Jaywalk and then Bellafina came up to her outside, for whatever reason, they decided to let those two horses go. And as we already know with Serengeti Empress, she just can't concede, Dan. She's not the same horse when she concedes. They will not concede in here. You know, I don't know if she's good enough. I feel like she probably isn't good enough. But she's a dangerous horse. If they just send her and open up on this field, she's very dangerous again.
Mo C. Cal, claimed for $25,000 back in June of 2018, comes into this race off a powerful gate-to-wire win against now winners of 2 other than competition. We'll watch that race right now. Mo C. Cal was 8-5 in this race. It was a short field. She got right to the front. They really backed down the pace here, and Mo C. Cal has plenty left. Listen, this is just a different universe of class of horse she's going to be facing on Saturday.
Yeah, big step up in class. She also has the kind of running style which feels like she could be involved on the pace here as she stretches out versus better horses. A lot working against her, but she'll be a big price.
Blue Prize is just a cool horse seeking her 10th lifetime win. She's been in the exacta 17 of 22. She is constantly underestimated, and just when you think that maybe we've seen the best of Blue Prize, she pops her biggest race ever, and this was the Spinster, winning it for the 2nd year in a row. She's on the far outside. That's the Salty Elate in the blue hat on the inside. That's Dunbar Road in the green down towards the rail, and Blue Prize just runs these horses down, and it's not like they were sizzling up front.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, maybe all things considered, she just got the better trip. And obviously this feels like a little bit of an Elate regression in this race. All that sort of conspires to Blue Prize becoming a 2-time Spinster winner. But listen, she's really good. She loves this distance. She's going to sit back and make one run in this race. And to me, she's just a really underrated horse, Dan. You know, can she beat this field? I don't know. Maybe, Midnight Beast is going to be really hard for her to run down. But she's really good. She ran great in the Breeders' Cup last year.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Breeders' Cup Distaff. You're going with Midnight Bisou to make it a perfect season. Let's be honest. She wins and some things go her way. She's Horse of the Year in 2019. You are not a Paradise Woods fan. I'm more of a Paradise Woods fan than you are. The folks don't need me to tell them that Midnight Bisou is way the horse to beat. And listen, I don't really want to have too much money in against her. But if I did want an alternative, it's Paradise Woods. I do think she's getting back into her good form. I think John Sheriff's has been very patient with her. I'll take a slight stab against the favorite. I went 1-4-5-3. You're going with Midnight Bisou, and I like that you got Blue Prize in there.
Yeah, I just can't go against Midnight Bisou. We've seen, big favorites lose at the Breeders' Cup plenty of times in the past. Maybe it'll happen to her. I'm not going to bet against her. If I was going to pick against her on top, it was going to be with Ali's Candy. She was sort of the only, maybe bigger price who I feel like maybe could really take a step forward in this race.
Well, she did not get the right trip last time out when beaten by Paradise Woods in the Zenyatta. The story of the Distaff, Midnight Bisou. She is going for a perfect season. Our Breeders' Cup Distaff coverage supported today by Racing Blue Storm, a breakthrough in sports nutrition for horses. Approximate post time for the Distaff, 4 o'clock Pacific. Good luck.